All things in time. All things in time. And it would seem that, well, there's not too much time remaining, everyone. Let's pop that back on, and then we will go to our main screen and get things going for the session. Let me make sure that all of my reference notes and stuff are up. Yep, looks like we're good on my end. No technical difficulties. Bloop. So far, so good. All right. I don't want to curse anything. So, hi. There we go. Now we have some background music. I hope that you can hear me. Remember, the things that I see and hear are probably different than the things that you see and hear. And what you see and hear is different and is important because you're the ones who are watching and enjoying our game. So if something needs adjusted, please... Oh, now I have 2 cats, okay? Now I have 1 cat. Alright, well... Hi. You just had to be here when I started talking to everyone. Yeah, I can refresh. Refresh. So yeah, Raichi was laying in my lap, and then Nisa jumped up, and then Raichi's like, nope, I'm gone. And now she's just, I don't know, rubbing on everything, trying to mark her territory, I guess. Like, nope, my monitor, my human. Yeah, meow, I know. I heard you singing. You're singing quite a powerful song. You look content. Okay. Well, I can always try reconnecting. So, hello to you all. Again, I hope everything is looking and sounding good. We should have all of our party members. Oh, we should hopefully have all of our party members tonight. Cross my fingers. And apparently... Oh, are you blessing my crossed fingers? Oh, thank you. Okay. But for sure, we have a fluffy sheep hanging out, we have a dark wolf, and a coffee cat. And then hopefully we are going to... hopefully we will have a lethality complex be joining us. Because, well, this is end game. And given the content we're going through, he's definitely going to be a part of it. So a quick howdy to you all out there. Woden in with the first comment. Followed by Demon Quiller, Black Rabbit, TTV, Ravenstar is here, Coffee Cat is here, Owlbear in, thank you very much for the raid. I hope that things are going well on your channel. And Fluffy Sheep is in chat here. Coffee, I hope that you enjoy the new badge that you have. And Willis is here too. So greetings to you all. Thank you for joining us for session 151. Let's also speaking of shout outs, we have 2 of our players here who do broadcast themselves. So we'll start out with Coffee Cat Presents, and I'll hop into super secret chat. Hello. Hello.
Proud of stars to mention Orla.
Hello, hello.
Good.
Why is this not going through?
You were muted, and apparently you cannot, and your computer won't connect to mine.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but
okay.
I'm not gonna probably have video on the stream tonight because Roll20 stupid.
Oh.
I've realized some mistakes I made in building Loki's character sheet. I don't think any of it affected the game really. One of them was that I was missing an invocation. The other one is that I misread the spell slot thing. Or like on the sheet itself.
How spell
like,
slots work.
Yeah, not how spell slots work, but like it's like spell slot. It said spell slot modifier. I thought it was asking what spell slots it should have. So I put down it should have 3, but it actually added that. I don't think I've ever used more than 3 spells, so I don't think it affected anything in the game.
He's only supposed to have. Wait,
He's supposed to have 3.
He's a 12 warlock,
He had-
so he's supposed to have 3.
He had 6. And I didn't realize this.
Wah, wah.
But I don't think I actually used more than 3.
Okay.
In other news, I'm debating between doing the Warlock level up or doing the Rogue level up, because it's either a Mystic Arcanum of 7th level or a ASI. That's what.
Well, he's been throwing a lot of spells at things.
Yep.
So it seems only apt. Or he can go like buff his charisma and like raise his DC and everything.
If he would have to raise his dex because his charisma's already 20.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
While you're figuring that out, a shout out to Coffee Cat. Now, Coffee is sporting an artist badge because, wouldn't you know,
I draw lots of things for this channel.
here and there, you will find sprinklings of Coffee Cat's art. And so, with some of the upgrades and stuff that are available for emote attribution and just a role in chat, with as often also as Coffee hangs out with us, it is fair and proper to give credit where credit is due. Now, you are also seeing Darkwolf's art up here, but as she is a mod, the sword is mightier than the brush, and so she cannot have 2 roles. In this case, so her mod role will win out, but you are seeing
Oh my.
you are seeing her artwork up here. Now, Darkwolf also does broadcast.
I haven't had time for it lately, but I'm hoping to stream this weekend.
And at some point as well, you and I can sit down with what you would like to do in my absence, because I will be taking a bit of a summer break. For those of you, I mean, if you're back, hey, cool, yay, it's roleplay night. I have not been broadcasting all week because I have just worn myself down. And so
What you doing that for, bruh?
I'm trying to fix that. But I owe you all an amazing finish to this game. There's only a couple sessions left. Well, I'm giving you my all. And so we're going to finish up this month, and then the torch will officially pass over to you, Coffee.
Oh, snap.
For the sequel campaign that I hope
God.
you all will enjoy over on Coffee's channel as well.
Starts in less than a month, session 0.
Yeah. So, exciting times. I should hopefully, if I'm getting through tonight. I mean, right now, for the past couple nights, I was already asleep by now. So here I am. I'm staying up way past my bedtime at 10:30 at night.
Look at you.
I've also been going to bed at a reasonable hour the past few days, so I hope
I have not. I have been staying up till like 5 in the morning.
Tisk tisk.
Oh, we switched sleep schedules. That's what happened.
We did. That's what happened.
But with
Usually me
practice
and Matt
tonight
are
of
also
staying up, well, and tomorrow I'm hoping to stay up. And Darkwolf, if you want to go down to the store with me, I'm hoping to be able to get some work in with you all at the store tomorrow. And we'll go from there. I know I needed the rest, Raven. It's just I can't help but feel like I just gotta do stuff. I gotta be doing all the things. But anyway, I'm here. I'm here tonight with you. We have.
I have also been doing all of the things.
Yes, you've been a very busy bee.
I feel like I'm still underprepared.
You are, but don't worry, because you will never be prepared. You think I'm prepared for this, and we're in the last couple sessions?
You might have had an inkling ages ago.
I had an idea, but now I actually have to try and stick the landing, and this is it's nervous energy time all the way around on both sides of the camera. So, all right. Anyway, well, we have a fluffy sheep who's hanging out in chat. Will probably join us hopefully in voice chat soon. But we do have we do have things to proceed apace with and getting things going here. So for those of you here, awesome. We had a all right, Fluffy. We had a rather explosive finish to what has happened in let me see if I can. I actually put the. No, that's not the right one. Well, it's not there either. Well, anyway, I put the air battle away. But last week, what had happened was Selter, who became a dragon, one with a dragon, or a dragon-shaped airship. Anyway, everyone was aboard. There was a traveling a montage south from the north. You had stopped in a couple places, had spoken to people, done a couple things, and here we go. Skyshatter dogfight. Well, after an arduous combat, which got very close to being super lethal for everyone, and that may very well have ended the game right then and there. You had emerged victorious, and you exposed the core of the Skyshatter Leviathan, and before it was able to reconstruct itself around this core, there was an explosion of light. Things became very blinding, and well, that's where we had ended. With the minor exception of you all saw a silhouette against the blinding white light. And so tonight we are going to address that. Well, you're kind of on a cliff. It was a cliffhanger of sorts. So yes, the swirling aeronautical combat is now going into a bit of a deep dive here. Now, in out of character sense, for those of you, especially in the audience, because you're not privy to the conversations that we have, I gave the players a prompt regarding tonight's session, and they each had responded to me in kind, so that I can introduce what is going on and, well, what's going to happen as we end this this swirling combat and shift gears now into BBEG mode? Question mark? I had ordered you all in a particular fashion. Unfortunately, though, we don't have lethality right now, and wouldn't you know, I was going to have one of his characters go first. What we can do, I can still present things in order, because I would like to. I sort of wove them into into a particular pattern. I have the questions from both Professor Cypher and from Celine, and if nothing else, I can at least address them. And if we need to come back and do like role play afterwards or whatever, then cool, we can do
He
that.
says he's on his way. He had tech issues.
Oh shoot! Okay.
Wouldn't be a Friday without tech issues.
Yep.
Technical difficulties.
Okay, yeah, I do see him in chat there. So, all right. I don't know if Lethality is listening right now, but I will buy him some time. If you all were hearing Dark Wolf talk about a character and spell slots and whatnot, it's because after defeating the Skyshatter Leviathan, the characters hit level 20. And congrats to each of them for starting out at level 1 and absolutely, just earned step by earned step through milestones in the story. You have fought tooth and nail, fang and claw, weapon and spell until you have reached this point. And so, while your characters are level 20, there hasn't been a replenishment of sorts just yet, but and hello, we have another artist in our chat, Macabre Derek, who's sporting that beautiful blue badge. So welcome to you, as much as you're able to watch. If y'all can send some well-wishing over Derek's way as well. Yep, gonna be lurking. Then lurk away, Derek. Just don't look away, because there might actually be some interesting things that would have you go, oh, whoa. Of course, I say that, and hopefully that doesn't have, like, Coffee, who plays in Derek's games, go, oh, what? Why am I pandering to Derek about this session? But you also can see Derek's work around the channel, and especially when we hit our break screen, that is a wonderful piece de resistance, chock full of story bits, things that either have happened, were currently happening, or haven't happened yet, at least at the time of the illustration, but may actually be happening, or will soon happen. And thank you very much for the shout out to Macabre Derek, Ravenstar. What I will do then, so we have a lethality, just not here yet. I do want to keep things moving along. So I will... I will do a thing here. I'm going to move one thing. If you as my players have me up on your screens, look away for a little bit so nothing... I mean, there's not huge spoilers because we're going to get to it anyway, but just to make sure I don't accidentally mess something up, I need to shuffle something around, because then while lethality is getting hooked into the matrix here, I can begin things with Mordecai, and it won't really throw things out of whack. So I'm going to...
I'm not watching the stream, and your face is not showing on my webcams.
Oh, I say you're just flying blind. Gotcha.
I am flying blind on everybody.
Okay. You know what? Because this is the first one, I can actually just delete that. Okay. All right. So, this narration is going to apply to each of you. Though I'm only going to keep the spinning portal up here just for this sake of, well, all of you are getting this here at the beginning. You have faced this blinding moment. Everything just reality was bending, things were happening, and there was this core that you were like, oh, is this a portal? What's going on? And uh, there is going to be a silhouette that appears before each of you. And each of you will apparently be alone, save for this silhouette. So if you can imagine, I know it's a stretch, this is D&D, but stepping through this swirling portal before you in otherwise blinding light is a figure. And now let's delete this. And the focus of this is you're each introduced this way, but Mordecai, you are standing in light. Now you yourself have your beautiful periwinkle blue complexion. Everything appears as it should on you. There is no shadow, but there is a silhouette. The silhouette is, well, pretty much what you see here. Uh, Perhaps a woman holding a strange creature, something. Long hair, but the hair might be, I don't know, bad hair day, or it's actually something more like roots or vines or something. But she does not seem to notice you right now, Mordecai.
I kind of do what I can, squinting a little bit to see if I can see past the light at all. Trying to figure out where exactly I am.
There's no direction, there's no distance. There's not even a source of the light where you can look up and it's getting brighter or look away and it's getting dimmer.
What's going on?
The silhouette ceases to regard the thing and turns its head in your direction. And while the body's moving, there's no shifting of light, no detail. It is just a black, just almost like a two-dimensional figure in front of you. And a voice that sounds like 1,000, but speaking in unison, though with different accents, different tones, different ranges, but everything is still rather clear. Mordecai, you are caught in a very long moment.
That's been happening a lot lately.
But I suppose it's good that you've been caught here. I've seen what you've been doing. I know where it is that you are going or that you want to go. I don't know if you're ready for it just yet.
We have to be.
That is true. In this moment, you will live or you will die. And if there's something that I can do to aid you, then I will. Knowing that you are facing a possible oblivion. Not even just death, because you know exactly what will happen if you pass. You know where you're going and what will become of you. Maybe I can set your mind at ease, settle your soul, maybe even resolve both. And so, even if it is a small comfort before I pass along with this moment, I would like you to ask me a question. Something that maybe you need to let go or unburden yourself, or it's been a burning desire for a very long time to have answered, to make peace with, or to just consider. Now, the silhouette, the silhouette gets no further nor closer to you, but as it speaks to you, there is movement. There is a fluidity to the motions of the arms. There is just a body language to this silhouette as it speaks to you in the 1,000 voices that you're hearing.
Well, geez. There's a lot of things that I want to know. Does this silhouette have a sort of familiarity to me?
Mm-mm.
I don't think we've been properly introduced. But I don't think you're here for that, are you?
I don't know if that is relevant to what is burning inside you, Mordecai. Whatever my name is may not affect the answer that I give you. And so you
Maybe
should
not.
think closely. You can ask me my name, or you can allow me to give you a simple pleasure of scratching that itch.
I've been to hell and back. Metaphorically and literally. And somehow I was able to overcome vampirism. Still not even entirely sure what it is I am. Not a tiefling anymore. I'm something else. Celine's afraid she's gonna become a monster. Is it possible for her to avoid that?
The silhouette.
Even
Oh,
if it's even
Go
if it's becoming something like me.
You ask your question, and the silhouette considers. A hand sort of disappearing into the blackness that would be the face in contemplation. And then, Mordecai, the ever present, not necessarily blinding, but the everywhere white light disappears. Or maybe it's more accurate to say it gains color. It's sunset. The sky looks mostly the same. The time is right from the last time you had a peek outside the ship. But nothing is moving. Except you. But the clouds don't ripple. The grass doesn't sway. And in fact, caught in this moment of dusk, you can see some of those seabirds that are unique to this area that have a permanent glint to them as the sun passes through their nearly clear bodies. But they're not just riding on a breeze. And from everywhere around you, not booming, but also not whispering and very close, though there is no silhouette. The same 1,000 voices that had addressed you how long ago? A moment? A minute? Tells you, no. Mordecai died in the prison inside the Fey Caves, trying to save Norelai. Celine died later, in the same caves by the might of Orlanz's spear. You and she have gone on to undie and die again several times over. You are not normal, Mordecai. You and the others were given a semblance of life again at the expense of others when you left Oiho. The bodies you have, as well as other aspects of you, were bought with the lives of others from that place, as you had assumed the Conqueror's mantle of that special place carved out by Mercury. And while the voice is still around you, it feels as if a presence that might have been behind you is now beside you, might be walking in a circle. You aren't normal. You can never be normal. Though, don't be dismayed, for if you were, I'm sorry. Though, don't be dismayed, for you were never normal to begin with, Mordecai. And you can't feel a presence, but the tone of the voice, it's not sounding taunting, that there's an eeriness to the plurality of all the voices as one, but it's harmonized into the reply. And you're getting something not like a coy or villainous brush of the cheek or something, but there's a presence around you that is more palpable, though not visible at all. You were never normal to begin with, Mordecai, and perhaps that is why you have led such an uncanny life, as now a man beyond his age. Your abnormality is the key to unlock a sense of normalcy for so many others. For the world to continue on from here, however, you will have to return to where this dance macabre began. And a question for you, Mordecai. Do you know where we are?
Do I know where we are?
Yes. This is the ruined fortress on the promontory of Old Port. That was supposedly like the landing site of the pilgrims. This was like one of the first established places. It's now sort of a historical ruin outside of the otherwise historical city. As well, it's probably not too far from where a certain temple was sunk. You've been on these cliffs before.
I have. Watched the sunset several times through here. And I explained that to the figure. Brought Corinna here several times.
You can again, in the form of Celine.
I hope to.
It will be up to you, Mordecai, and your not normalness to return here and to break this long, long moment. But before you can do that, there's other harder tasks to accomplish. And I don't need to get into the details of those. You know what lies ahead.
Yep.
But before I set you back on that path, in this moment, is there some place that you would like to be? Someone you'd like to see?
It's not possible to see Jade, is it?
You may not like this, Mordecai, or you've known it all the while, but I am going to be returning you to see her.
I hope She knows I'm sorry.
You'll have to tell her that yourself.
I was afraid of that.
As you contemplate in this still moment, a sense of motion, a sense of maybe a breeze or something actually stirs. And in front of you, a portal opens. And this is where Mordecai is put on pause. We will return. Do I have a lethality complex?
You do.
All right. I'm going to begin with Cypher. Now, you're actually going to get a bit of a double header here.
Okay.
I had buying you time so that you can get your tech stuff worked out. So we went through Mordecai, but I have Cypher up, and then we're going to hop over to Celine.
Okay.
Cypher is... Cypher is caught in a blinding light. There's that portal, that thing that had ruptured from the core of the Skyshatter Leviathan. And standing before you is this figure. Maybe not aware of you, regarding some sort of a strange thing. Long hair, but the way that it's styled, it's odd. But what would you like to do, Professor Cypherius?
He kind of looks around. He looks at the figure in front of him. He moves his fingers. He thinks back a moment to the rupturing of the Skyshatter Leviathan's core. A moment fractured. I see. And he looks up at the figure. I would suppose that you there are an arbiter of this sequestered space, no?
The silhouette turns in all that apparently a two-dimensional figure can, with very lifelike fluidity of motion of limbs and hair and such. Yes. I am here in this long moment with you, Professor. I watched what it is that you did. I'm aware of who you are and what you've done. And I know where it is that you are going. And so, in this moment, I wanted to provide some kind of relief of mind or of soul to you. Before you continue on and to do what it is that you need to do, I wondered, Was there a question that you had that someone like me could answer? Knowing that you will live or die in this moment,
Hmm.
how can I set you at ease?
I know what awaits me on the other side, but the defeat of Shonaruth here is an inevitability. I have seen it. So instead, I would ask you this. When all is said and done, when the creature that fell from the stars is no more, I am the only one left who wields the magic of Old Shadowha to the proficiency that I do. Where does that lead from here? If Shonaruth falls,
The silhouette appears contemplative. And in a moment, it disappears, along with the white light, being replaced with a sunset. Much like one of the last things that you saw outside the ship that you were just on. Professor, you see before you a city. One that appears unlike any designs that you have seen. There's basic elements that you recognize, smokestacks, chimneys or something. But odd things, bits and elements, metallic things that don't seem to have a place in what you're used to, even in a university setting. This city of brass, of shaped stone, of smokestacks and wires and all manner of things, is caught in this same moment, this same sunset. The clouds don't move, the smoke doesn't billow, and you can see that above, hovering above this city, like a beautiful, fierce gem, is a dragon. Though one that you know is not just a dragon. It does appear different than the ship that you're currently on, and even a ship to which you're inexorably tied. But it is here, above the city, gleaming, polished and beautiful. And the voice that was addressing you, 1,000 voices in one, of all timbers, accents, languages, but a voice all the same that you recognize, begins to answer your question. The magic you wield will take you wherever you wish to go. You will be raised to the greatest heights by your knowledge and magic. You will also be despised for it. You will do such great things, Professor Cypherius. They will become horrible things. And so you move on because you can. If the people of Mesotopia can't appreciate you, what about those who lie beyond that region? What about those who lie beyond this world? Professor, if I may ask you a non-rhetorical question in return, do you truly want to bear this knowledge and burden? Ignorance has led to a relative bliss among the people here in Mesotopia for a great long while.
I do. And this is because of a very simple thing. The people of Mesotopia, the people of the world, have been dreaming for such a very, very long time. It's a beautiful dream. But it's outstayed its welcome. They've forgotten the ephemerality of it. And as such, someone needs to be able to tell the stories, to remind people of how things truly are, and it's time for them to wake up, because the world will not wait anymore. It doesn't wait now, and it won't wait after Shonaruth is gone. People will despise me for this. Yes. They'll say something along the lines of, "It's too bright outside, I want to go back into the box." But I feel that it is better to struggle in truth than it is to believe a lie that so many before you have believed, and never open your eyes to the beauty of the world.
And you are willing to risk all that you are, all that you've become, for the possibility that the things you do in this moment will become a source of hate, ignorance, or a footnote in a book in a far from a time from here?
Dear shadowy figure of 1,000 voices, I am a professor. I am used to being a footnote in a book.
It sounds as if you've made your mind up. And I'm not here to convince you otherwise, to stop you, or to even send you on your way. I'm simply taking a moment of opportunity to alleviate a curiosity or a pressure on your mind or soul. But before you are put back on the path that you were on, is there a place that you would like to see one more time someone you'd like to visit in this moment? A small boon, but it is something I can grant you.
I wish to visit the university library in Volvire.
One moment. Just gonna ignore these. The gleaming city of brass, the shaped stone, the smokestacks, all caught in a moment, in a sunset, disappear around you. And just as there, you do not see the silhouette, but you can feel its presence. You are inside the library. It has been shuttered. There are some shelves that are emptied, and chunks out of some other shelves as well, where books have been taken. But there is no one in the university. You are alone as what little twilight that can seep through the boards of the windows can fill the room with light. Not that you need it, but... What would you like to do now that you're back in the university library?
Cypher begins kind of wandering the shelves. And he speaks aloud, knowing that the shadowed figure can hear him. Millions of times I have traipsed along these hallowed halls, taken of the bounty of knowledge contained therein, although much of it is displaced and or missing now. I know a large amount sits in the office of the headmaster, where I sequestered myself for a time, before I became as I am now. I have watched thousands of minds grow from nascent buds to authorities in their own right. In so many different fields. Teleportation magic, Mesotopian history, history of the different races, such as the gnomes, or how they used to wander through here as well. Our brethren from Uct now trapped. I felt it wise that, whilst I believe wholeheartedly in the downfall of Shona Ruth, that I myself may not be so lucky. Just because I want something and because I know something is going to happen doesn't necessarily mean that the powers that be have other plans. And thus, I thought it wise to walk the halls that made me into who I am. Not so much in the sense of the master of wielding the magic of old Shadowheart, the realization of the royal bloodline, of old. But the man beneath all of that, the professor who picked up his first book about the history of the Shadowhar Empire at age 5, and was so enraptured that he wanted to make it his life's work to know everything he could about the Empire to the northeast. For in the end, despite the awesome power that we all wield, me the ability to rend space-time, Bright the foresight of the ages, Celine and Mordecai, the cycle of death itself, and Norlai, the blood of the land. Wild magic, we called it. And even Loki himself, with his connection to Shona Ruth and the power that has granted him. You strip that away, and we are but men and women. With our knowledge, our hobbies, our dreams, our desires, our aspirations. Wanting but not more than a better world. A world unbroken. A world unpoisoned.
In 1,000 voices, after that moment, in a moment, is that who you are, Professor, or what you wish to be? A simple man.
I am but a simple man with phenomenal cosmic power. And that phenomenal cosmic power has allowed me to realize my ambitions. What I wish to be? A chronicler of the ages. Someone needs to be around to tell the story. Especially if Ouija's is left in place and she continues to make people forget. Someone must be there to always tell the story.
Did you know, Professor, speaking of the minds that you have taught, or at least the paths that you've crossed, you have met Celine once before in your life, before you met her?
Is that so?
Yes. It was a long time ago. You were walking through the hallways, much as you are now. And you were in a book, much as you are now. She bumped into you. It was nighttime. Similar to what it is now. But you were busy. You had come back to simply fetch a book, and were making your way out. You probably don't even remember, and you have no need to. For how often does it happen in a school where people collide in the halls, rushing around? But a curious
Millions of
thing how
times.
paths cross. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's all. That's all.
Is there any other place that you would like to see or be before your moment in time resumes? Back where you belong and where you're needed.
No. There is naught to be gained from delaying the drawing of the curtain.
Very well, Professor. Go do what you must do. And the white light seeps back in. And you find yourself back on the bridge of the ship. The moment being frozen still. The ship is as it was. DJ, unmoving. Selter, unmoving. And it seems as if you have some time to contemplate whatever it is you wish to contemplate until this moment passes. For now, you are the only animated thing here. And I leave you to your thoughts of the ship, of life, of what it is that you just talked about with this silhouette. Now we move to Celine. Celine, as the white light overtook the ship, things were blinding. It was a very harrowing experience, and I'm sure that you were filled with quite a mix of emotion for it. And as that spiraling portal, that gate, lay before you, its afterimage, now turning real, appears in the white light. And on the other side, a woman? Holding something. Messy dress and hair. Maybe a whimsical pose. The figure doesn't seem to recognize you, though the swirling portal is gone, and you're surrounded by directionless, shadowless, despite the silhouette, light. The ship is gone. You are fully lit and capable of moving. What are you doing, Celine?
Right in the eyes. Aha! Oh great, it's the darkness all over again, but it's flipped this time!
That's me chuckling, not the figure.
I suppose this isn't ever going to get old. But it's rare that there's ever company.
The figure seemingly notices your commentary and turns to you. And
I mean, I would hope that was aimed at her.
yeah. Walks fluidly, but doesn't seem to get any closer to you, nor further away. Nor are there really any steps or sounds. And is that air you're really breathing? Not that you even have to do that. Celine, says one voice that's 1,000. Your very keen ears pick up several different accents and languages, different ranges of voice, the voices of men and women and children.
Maybe if the souls trapped within the Leviathan, it had consumed thousands.
Celine, I have seen what you have done, and I'm here not to hinder your progress, nor can I necessarily help your progress, for it is your own. But I am someone who might be able to give you some relief of mind or of soul. For you see, you are trapped in a very long moment. The Leviathan wasn't holding the souls of people. It was holding the moments of people, of many people.
And now to experience that time all at once.
And now those moments have been released. You and the others are caught in a very, very long moment. And
Does
whether you live or die in this moment, here and now, I can offer you some conversation or even some relief in the form of a question. If you would like to ask me something.
it does make me think as to just how long this moment is, but no matter. If it is a question that I would ask of you, I would ask of something completely different. By the will of the land shall we see Shurnaruth undone. But he is not the only threat that exists. It is not the only threat that exists. And I know that once all is said and done with Shurnaruth, that I will no longer be able to maintain this form. That I will fade away into the ever-ephemeral twilight. But when I do, I wish to give one last gift to the world. And that is I want to be able to make sure that we just hurt no one else. The dream that she keeps people trapped in is no longer. Will I be able to make sure of this when my flesh betrays me and I am naught but my soul?
The figure turns, though there's really not a full figure, it's just a shadow. It contemplates. It even paces slightly. Swaying and moving as you'd expect, but this being a wholly alien being. It turns, and while it seems like it would be an approach instead of the figure itself getting any closer to you, the white light pulls away. And you find yourself in a very barren place. The Aslandian Desert. Sunset. A place with which you have familiarity. And while the sky is different than what you remember seeing outside the ship, there's still an unmistaken feeling that this is the same sun, the same sunset, the same moment, simply in a different place. And the silhouette is gone, maybe hiding in one of the deep shadows that aren't growing, for the sky's not moving. There's no sand blowing in the wind. Though you are animated here. And wherever it is that this mysterious silhouette has gone, the voice that is 1,000 answers your question. Yes. The coming confrontation will give you that ability prior to your inevitable death, Celine. If it gives you a modicum of peace and comfort, then take this confidence. However, you will not be able to do it alone. And those who help you will suffer. Or rather, will suffer for it. Though you don't have to die to depose her. You may simply replace her. Said half in statement, half in question. You won't even die if you do. In fact, you would have near unlimited power, knowledge, and nor would you truly have to fear death. Do you really want to die or fade away, Celine?
Of course not. But if I was to do that, I would become no better. Why would I turn myself into the monster that I am wanting to destroy?
Things can happen in a moment of panic. The temptation to give in, to take the easy route, or to assure yourself, as confident as a woman as you are, that you can do a better job.
I can't fault your thinking, but there's something wrong with it. I resolved myself to this a long time ago. It's not about the easy path. It's about the right path. Not for me, but for everyone who gets left behind. She disrupts the balance of what once was, as a relic of the war between giants, dragons, and their ill-begotten kin. A weapon that was never destroyed. If the world is to know peace, then this weapon from a bygone era must be removed. It is not easy to say this. It is not going to be easy on the people. I understand this far, far too well. It is something that I have thought about for thousands of nights. That I have stayed awake, or I cannot sleep any longer. So of course, yes, I could replace her. But I couldn't say that I would do a better job. I couldn't say that we wouldn't be replacing one menace with a new one, and I refuse to become that. I refuse to take. Instead, I would rather give. That goddess who was once a woman. I will give her peace. Finality. I will be the reaper of her many, many souls. And I will guide them all to a better place. To an afterlife. Befitting them.
The silence feels like you're not just talking to an empty desert. There's a feeling of this silhouette listening. And nodding, not necessarily an approval or a rejection or a betrayal of any sort of emotion, but of listening to what you've said. Celine, those are bold words, and it would truly be a tragedy if your confidence turned to regret should whatever is about to happen find you prematurely sent away before you had this chance. But I am not here to hinder or to get you to change your mind. I'm here to answer a question and maybe even ask a few myself in this rare moment that I have. And before I set you down on the path that's before you, maybe I can do one more thing. Is there a place that you'd like to see? If this is your final moment in this world, is there a way that I can ease your heart or your mind?
She looks up at the sun in contemplation. My former family's home. Here in Aslandia.
This will have to do.
Oh, that's fine. I know you weren't expecting
Nope.
this, so it's
That's perfectly
quite
fine.
fine.
But fun memories.
Mm-hmm.
In the same twilight that was painting the desert, it's now painting the city where your family has lived here. And just as the desert proved, there's no motion, no wind, no heat. It's simply an image that's around you. A sunset, a twilight, frozen in time. What are you saying or doing now that you're back home?
There's a silence. Before she starts speaking. It was so long ago that you felt it fit to remove me from your lives. So long ago. Then you sent me away to school to never to be seen again. And yet, all the anger that I felt over those years, the resentment, I can't seem to find it anymore. I am simply bereft. And there is a song that she's going to sing, but I'm not going to sing it, and B, Maddie, you shouldn't play this on stream because you will get DMCA'd.
Okay.
Let me just, I'll post it in the secret chat.
Okay. That might be for the best. But noted that Celine would take this moment to sing out loud.
Also, don't judge me for this, please. Boop.
Mordecai would be proud.
Well, remember, you are the reason she took performance as a skill
Hey,
through the skill feat. That was you. You did that.
hey, Lamau.
But, when she finishes cleaning up, in this moment frozen in the passage of time, I have left to the eons what needs to be left. I suppose that I would ask you now, O disembodied figure of shadow, one who speaks with 1,000 voices, if you would have any questions of me before this moment ends.
No more. Save for... Are you ready? For what's going to happen?
Yes. I will either succeed or I will die. And I am prepared for both.
The feeling of the silhouette disappears, leaving you truly alone in this time, in this place. Though a colorful portal opens up in front of you, one that's different than the one that had led you here. And there are silhouettes. And it is here, Celine, as you advance forward, that your moment is over. We return to the bridge of the ship, where Bright has been dutifully piloting, using her skill, her cunning, and even her mischievous practice to deftly maneuver around the battlefield and to keep things together as best as she could. But like everyone else, she was caught in this rupture of the core, of whatever it is that comprised the functions or the purpose or the energy source for the Leviathan. And as the bridge filled with light, everything had become not blindingly white, but it's everywhere. Though you yourself are still your beautiful shade of pink, Bright. And there's just that after image of the core, the portal, swirling. And on the other side, a figure. Holding... Well, it's not Peggy Sue, but maybe whoever this figure is might have a familiar as well? There's maybe a conversation, a regard, an appreciation for small animals that, of course, you have as a forest gnome. The figure doesn't seem to notice you, though there is this swirling portal that stands between you and the silhouette. What do you say or do, Bright?
Is my voice working?
Yep.
Okay, good. I also say that out loud to her.
Oh, okay. um, the
Hello. I like your little. Um, is that a bird? It looks like it could be a bird. I also like your hat and your floofs. They go every which way. That's good. Okay, that's all.
the figure turns and doesn't quite flick a wrist, but makes a little gesture, and the bird kind of just disappears or melds into the rest of the silhouette. Something happens, and it's no longer there. But the silhouette does turn to face you, and as it does, the portal between the two of you fades, leaving you as far apart as you are. And as a player, you've heard this several times now, but as Bright, with one voice that is many, you're getting hints of Gnomish in both accent of the common tongue and just straight up gnomes. You're also picking up other languages. It is an eerie, but also soothing or understandable. In the fact that it's harmonious. Right. I want to commend you on everything that you just did. Your piloting was excellent.
Thank you. I've never done it before, so it worked out pretty well.
You have a knack, it would seem.
I guess. I did read the owner's manual. That helped some. It said if your airship becomes stuck, rock it gently back and forth in reverse. We were very clear about that part.
You were stuck in a broad sense, as the fight that you just had was very harrowing and almost cost you your life, as well as the lives of everyone else who was depending upon you.
Yeah, I made a couple of decisions that were maybe riskier than they needed to be, but it worked out. We all lived. To the extent that applies to most of us.
You have a history or a practice of such decisions, perhaps based on foresight, right?
Yeah, it doesn't always work out the way I like it to, but it always means something.
You are not in a place of strife, though I wish you could be in one that is less stressful. And I'll do what I can to ease that for you, Bright. I was fortunate to catch you in this moment, this very long moment. Many moments that had been captured by the Skyshatter Leviathan and released. Everything around you is on hold.
Yeah. Well, this is pretty much the nicest pocket dimension I've ever been in. I mean, you're much nicer than the denizens of the other pocket dimensions. Also, I'm not trapped here for 27 million years, so that's good. That's good. That was a long time.
No, though
It's pretty nice.
I don't wish to stress you, but it is in this moment that you will live or die, Bright. You don't have the luxury of, well, the other things that had happened to you. And with what it is that you have set out to do, and why you are on this path that I had the fortune to cross.
Well, I would prefer live. That seems definitely my preference, at least for right now. But really, isn't every moment the moment in which you live or die?
Yes. I think many would like to not accept that. There are a great many things that many others do not wish to acknowledge. Truths about the world or themselves or the things that must be done to achieve what they desire or to achieve the things that also must be done. But in this moment, Bright, as we have it, is there something that I can do for you? Can I answer a question to alleviate your heart, your soul, your mind?
I mean,
If this is your last
maybe.
sunset, and it very well may be, what could I tell you to help send you on your way, full of confidence or at least to be at ease and peace with whatever lies ahead?
Well, I don't know who you are, and I don't know what things you have the answers to.
To ask me who I am would, well, I don't know if that's the most
No,
important
no,
thing that you
no,
would
no,
like to attempt
no, no.
and answer from
You
me.
will note that what I said was, I don't know who you are. It was a statement, not a question. I guess
Then
you didn't
mine
fall
was a
for it.
caution that it was close, but not one. The thousand voices almost have a not quite a giggle, but they lilt as if at least a smile broke on this silhouette.
Well, that's good. I, I mean, there are things that I want to know, but the one that I don't think I'll ever be able to get the answer to on my own is because there are lots of things I want to know, but I'll be able to find them assuming I live. Like, where did Tibba go? Or what happened to the last dragon? Was Mr. Halver the last one, or were there others? Lots of things that, I mean, I'll probably live, assuming that I survive this moment, another 350, maybe 400 years, so I'll have plenty of time to get those answers. But the one that I don't think I'll ever find out is, you know that I'm not quite like other gnomes, and really quite not like anyone else at all. And because I see these things before they happen sometimes, and most people don't. Um, and I don't know why. I don't know if it was something that someone gave to me or something that someone cursed me with. It seemed like that at first, but now I don't see it that way anymore. It's actually turned out to be pretty useful. And I just don't know. And I wish I knew. And I don't even know what question to ask because I don't know enough about it to know what question to ask. And I spent so much time studying. I went to wizard school and I looked and went and found Mr. Halver and all these things, and I never got any answers. That makes me sad. So my question is, I would like those answers.
A moment, and again that lilting. It's a little bit of a discordant voice, not necessarily like oh super creepy and you feel like squigged out on an atomic level for it, but the harmony of the voices actually sort of broke up there for a moment. And there were a lot of different voices that were either giggling or laughing or booing or uh you got a very interesting reaction.
That
Then
was the
Bright,
Discord right there.
to summarize your request to know everything, would it be too presumptuous to reduce it down to who was able to grant me these powers? What powers you have seem to be known to you, and what you'll do with them, well, that's up for you to decide. But the mystery might lie within Who, if not you? Is that fair?
It's pretty close to fair. And I'd also like to know why. But maybe who is all I get. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yes, I might be able to answer that question or those. Yes. In short, Moirin. Though you might appreciate a little longer of an answer.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be a name I knew, like Mercury or Zuviwau or Shanaruth. I don't know who Moirin is. This will be fun.
The white around you begins to fade. And once more, you find yourself facing a sunset. In a sense, Bright, this is the moment that you were made, or the ability to have been made, or perhaps the thing that makes you who and what you are was brought to being. Your several questions may have several answers that tie into various knots. But I believe you have time, because you are caught in the longest moment. And if you would appreciate a story, I might have one to share, that at some point might answer your question or more. Unless you're in a hurry.
Well, I've got a whole moment.
Then, as I had said, Moirin, and the sunset grows white, and the scene changes as there's another white flash. The silhouette doesn't appear, but vision comes back to you, Bright, as if you're standing in this place, in this moment. Giant chieftainess of Eld, powerful huntress, explorer, a leader among the titans of the world, giants and dragons being but two. She traveled these lands and beyond, and like many of her kind, mastered an especially potent form of magic, now lost to mind, but not to body. During the exodus from Mesotopia, arranged by the giants and dragons to preserve their creations, Moirin imbued one with a potent seed of her power and sent the most beloved of her own servants to lead people away from war. This foremost was named after the wandering giantess's favorite flower, one which she had sown across the world. A white blossom that now grows nowhere in this region, but still does far to the east, in the land of the descendants of other titans. A land of green rock known as jade, and these white flowers known as jasmine. Jasmine was what Moirin called her, On the eve of the Exodus, dressed for ritual and war alike, with her mask, a custom of the giants, as they were. The mask with the strange eye. Moirin called Jasmine to her. The seed was planted at the eventide on the autumnal equinox. Moirin would go on to fight those that destroyed her people, who ate them, who consumed and were transformed by the power of the giants. The Fae, they were called. Nearly dead herself, Moirin led some of her people into the interstice, a place outside of the world, awaiting the chance to return when their forces were dwindled to reclaim the world from the Fae. For Moirin, they shouted as they retreated from the world. Jasmine would go on to lead the people out of and back into the region. Though unlike her creator, Jasmine did not sow flowers. She sowed seeds of faith and confidence, for she was a weapon. One so successful that she was praised for her constant victories over fiend and fae alike. Over death himself, as was the belief of the time. And thus Jasmine, Little Jasmine, was hailed, and what once was a pet name by her creator became the title for a conqueror and queen alike. Albeit, in the custom of the dialect of the peoples at the time, abbreviated her name from Little Jasmine to Wee Jazz. And thus, she grew. She changed. Bright, you are a descendant of the giants. Or rather, the giant eaters. As well as your cousins, the halflings. You bear the eye of Moirin, the ability to see, lead, decide, and know. It's an auspicious blessing. And the more you have learned, the further your eye has opened. Others born with the eye have either not opened it or hid it in shame like a malignant canker on their soul. For them, ignorance was bliss.
Well, yeah, I know about the shame. Go on.
If I may ask you, Bright, a question in return. What will you do with your eyes wide open now?
Well, the problem that I always had before was I didn't know how to use it to lead. And that was my problem. I mean, I wasn't very high status in our little village, and when I would warn people about things, it wasn't really leadership. I was trying to save them, but I hadn't learned how to save them from the consequences of what I just saw. And I usually ended up making things worse, and I'm sure that that's what happens to everybody when they don't know how to use it. But time went on, and I got better at it. Learned how to grab onto it at just the right moment, I guess is what I would say, where I could freeze things in time, right when I could make a choice, could make a difference. And that's a lot more useful than warning about people about bad things that are going to happen and then they happen. Boy, they don't like that at all. But if you can stop the bad thing by just putting a pin in it, that's a lot better. And now I'm going to have to lead if there's ever going to be forest gnomes again. I don't know if there are any or if I'm the last one. But forest gnomes and rock gnomes aren't really different. It's really more of a cultural difference than a biological one. So maybe all I need to do is find people who want to be forest gnomes, or maybe there are some who survive. And now between that and our memory, once all this is over, I'll be able, hopefully, to put things back together again. And that's... I don't think you could use the gift any better than that.
Then, Bright, it seems as if you have a resolve, that perhaps you've accepted the Eye of Moirin and your ability to lead and to make these decisions, as tough as they might be, just as she had to do. And in that sense, Bright, you are every bit a giant as she was. Don't forget that. But before you're set back upon the path before you, is there a place that you would like to see? If this turns out to be your final moment, may I offer you some last ease or peace of mind or a chance to say goodbye to some place or, if possible, a someone?
There's really not a someone. Everyone I ever cared about except for my people who I'm with right now, they're all dead, probably. So I don't know that there is anyone I want to say goodbye to. I guess if you could show me if there are any surviving forest gnomes anywhere, I'd like to see them. Or if not, then show me the ruins of my village where I grew up.
All right, you... Now, the scene is that of Uct, at the same sunset that has been everywhere. The forest... Most of the forest is still rather the same. Though, of course, there's a very large tree that should not be. The same that you had the vision of the Skyshatter Leviathan visiting. The voice has not said anything, but you can feel it around as you are taken to this twilight jungle. Corrupted as it is, with things that crawl in the long shadows. Well, they're not crawling currently. They're stuck in time as well. But the glistening glimmers in dark shadows, the tree that should not be. Now, this is not Stack at all. This is not your village. But it is Oct. Anyway, the prompt is on you if you want to ask anything or interact with the voice.
Well, good news and bad news. Good news is you're not showing me the ruins of my village. So that probably means that there's some gnomes surviving somewhere. Bad news is I don't actually see the gnomes. So the situation is a little bit ambiguous. Are you telling me that some of them are alive inside that tree? Or are you telling me that they're hiding and I need to dig through the forest until I find them? Because that'd be fun too.
They are all alive inside the tree.
Oh, that's better news than I expected. I mean, what about the ones that got siphoned off to, like, make up the shell of the Leviathan? Are they...
The shell was not the gnomes.
Oh. Well, that's good news. That's good news.
But the tree is the gnomes.
Okay. Sounds like there's gonna be a little bit of a project there. Can I look closer?
Yeah.
Is it safe?
You zoom in.
Enhance.
Yep. Traveling on a wind that's not blowing through mist that's held in the twilight air here, and very much you can see faces on the bark. It's not even really bark though, because it does have a glisten of flesh. There are mouths and eyes that are opened and are opening, closing, forming words, singing something. And while it's not moving, there is just an uncanny, like, it might as well be, for the feeling that you get, even in this still moment, being so close to such a large thing.
Yeah, this gives me the willies. Even though I'm not in the right dimension for it, it still gives me the willies. Can I get them out? Is there a trick? Will destroying Shonerith free them? Is there... Will they all be in a big pile if that happens, and they'll all tumble down and collapse in a big heap? And will the ones on the bottom get smushed?
None of those can happen until the moment passes. And the moment can't pass until it passes. There's other things that you have to do first with the time that you've been given, Bright.
Doing as many of those things as I can.
But if you succeed and you live, you would certainly be hailed as a leader among your people, and as someone who is able to turn them into what it is that you are. Now, at that mention, Bright, a thought in the back of your mind is at least tickling your brain. as there's been an unfortunate recurrence of these different weird dreams that have come around, especially lately. And there's the one where, of course, you were first visited by it when you were in the Force Cube, wiping away the goop of the black maggots inside the derelict ship. But if you recall, at the end of that, you had returned back to your people as their leader. And they, in the dream, were vampires as you. But here, it's not quite turning people into vampires, but it is making a lot of gnomes into what it is that you are. Or rather, unknomes to turn them into gnomes. And so, in your mind's eye, in this Eye of Moira, there's a flash of this dream, of this circumstance. And well, we move on. Because as you think you might close your eyes for a moment, you open them and things are different. And as a player, no, you are not getting a portal. Now, before we continue this, do you all need to take a break? You want like a 5-minute break to get up and refresh yourselves?
Nope, I'm good.
I'm out of drinks, so probably.
And I think I'm hearing a yes from Darkle.
Well, considering the last two I have are Norlai and Loki. Dark Wolf is a little pivotal for this. So let's get up and take about a 5-minute break, everyone. Use the restroom, get a drink or a snack if you need to. And when we come back, we will continue our session entitled Answer to find out more of what's going on. So we'll see you soon, everyone.